Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute anomaly of Lower Canada, Marie-Louise-Levasseur. We're going to uncover the incredible, expectation-defying story of a true 19th century pioneer. Her name is literally etched into the streets of Quebec, but her story, well, it's pretty much been overlooked. So get ready, because we're about to seriously challenge your assumptions about history.
So, could a woman actually build an industrial empire back in 1860? I mean, in the male-dominated economy of 1860s Lower Canada, the answer was almost universally a resounding no. Women back then just weren't handed leading roles in the business world. But, history always has its exceptions, and the brilliant mold-breaking exception we're looking at today is Marie-Louise-Levasseur. Section 1. An exception to the rule.
What's so fascinating about this era is that trade and natural resources were absolutely booming. But as you might guess, the big economic responsibilities were handed almost exclusively to men. Women simply weren't seen as the captains of industry. Marie-Louise, though, she completely shattered that mold. Born on March 29, 1811, right in the middle of a massive economic shift in Trois-Rivières, she entered a world where her future success would have seemed, well, highly improbable. But trade and resource exploitation were quickly becoming the center of everyday life, so the stage was definitely set, even if nobody expected a woman to step into the spotlight.
After marrying Antoine Marand in 1830, she settled down in Bécancour. And this bustling 19th century industrial hub, this became her domain. We're talking a sprawling network of waterways, mills, and just endless timber processing. This is exactly where she'd leave a massive, lasting mark on the region's economy. Just imagine the sheer scale of that operation, right? The incredible amount of timber being moved and processed every single day.
Section 2. Building an industrial empire.
So how did she actually build this undeniable economic powerhouse? Well, she wasn't just a casual participant in the local economy. She owned and operated some serious regional infrastructure. Marie-Louise's holdings included a flour mill and, crucially, 2 sawmills. And why is that important? Because forestry was the absolute dominant industry in the region back then. And on top of all that, she owned a strategic toll bridge. This bridge facilitated trade, moved people around safely, and of course, brought in steady, reliable revenue. Honestly, it was an absolute masterclass in business diversification. But the really crucial point here is this number, 150. That is the sheer scale of her operation. By the 1860s, her businesses employed roughly 150 workers. Just think about that for a second. In a mid-19th century rural town, managing 150 employees, that is a massive undertaking. It really goes to show just how central her businesses were to the livelihood of the entire community. Managing a workforce of that massive size, all while controlling the flow of goods and people, made her exactly what it says, a true pioneer of female entrepreneurship in Quebec. She wasn't just, inheriting some assets and sitting back. Not at all. She had remarkable vision, actively driving regional development at a time when society was pretty much telling women to just stay home.
Section 3. A massive family tree. As it turns out, her empire wasn't just built on wood, stone, and commerce. It was also built on a deeply rooted family network. Look at this expansive genealogical chart of the Levasseur family. It shows generations of history. She came from this incredibly deep, extensive lineage that really grounded her in the region's past. It just shows how totally intertwined her roots were with the local community. To put her immediate family into perspective, she was the 11th child born to Modeste Levasseur and Marie-Joseph Deschaise. She grew up in a vibrant and, let's be honest, probably totally chaotic household alongside 5 brothers and 9 sisters. I mean, growing up with 14 siblings, that probably taught her everything she ever needed to know about ruthless negotiation, crowd management, and standing her ground. Those skills absolutely must have translated into her incredible business life.
And remarkably, after getting married in 1830, she went on to have 11 children of her own. I don't know about you, but I can barely manage my daily calendar, yet here she was, perfectly balancing her role as a relentless industrial titan and a mother of 11. From Marie and Pierre to Selina and Leonia, she literally did it all. It's just a stunning testament to her endurance and her crazy capacity to manage multiple, highly demanding spheres of life all at the same time. You can really see her extraordinary journey mapped out right here. From her birth in 1811 to her marriage at age 19 in 1830, straight through to her peak economic influence in the 1860s when she was commanding that massive workforce we just talked about,
And finally, her passing in 1892 in Bécancour at the age of 81. Her husband actually passed away 14 years prior, but she remained this steadfast pillar of her community until the very end.
Section 4. A lasting local legacy.
So, you might be wondering, why does all this matter to us today, well over a century later? Well, today, her name actually lives on in the Centre-du-Québec region. Specifically, there's a street in Bécancour, Rue Marie-Louise-Levasseur, dedicated entirely to her. And this isn't just some random street either. It's located in an area where the roads are specifically named to honor the most prominent industrial figures of the region. It's a permanent physical recognition of her contributions and her vital place in our collective history.
And that leaves us with one really compelling question. Whose incredible pioneer story is hiding on the street signs you drive past every single day? Marie-Louise-Levasseur was a woman who built an absolute empire when society told her she couldn't. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What other forgotten, expectations-shattering stories are hiding in plain sight right in your own town? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes open, folks. History is literally all around us.